Hello, my lovelies. How are you? I'm just trying to adjust the lighting for a second so that you guys can see this properly. I don't wish the glare to be visible to you. Okay, let me just continue and I will show you the cards as we move forward. Um, right, so this should resonate with somebody. I shuffled the cards, I've pre shuffled the cards. I'm just doing the reading right now. This reading should sorry, resonate with somebody who has gone through a difficult day today. There was a situation which was not their own, but it could have involved close people, people who are like very close to you, people you have grown up with. It could be siblings, friends, family, something of that kind, a group that you are constantly in touch with on a daily basis. So there was some issue which was not yours. You were relaxing, you were chilling, and something happened, some drama happened behind your back. You were not informed, you were not expecting, but there has been a situation which has been brewing for some time now, like 10 days, 5 days, 10 days, right? So this may resonate with those people, and I wanted to get a guidance for the collective who are kind of struggling to know where they stand in this situation. So this reading is more like a guidance for you as to where you stand with regards to this reading, because I can see this group of people is not somebody, though they are kind of close to you physically and they know you well, you know them well, there aren't the nicest and most amiable relationships between you guys, between you and this group of people. So I kind of see that this group has struggled in the past, feeling like they belong to this group. It could be family, siblings, friends, it could be anybody. It could be a work situation also. But for me, because the cards are like this, it shows me. Let's start with this first tarot card, the Queen of Cups. So the Queen of Cups is a person who is always the emotional rock for other people. So you might have been an emotional rock for this group, always constantly nurturing them, looking out for them emotionally, solving their problems emotionally. You seem to be of excellent intuition and you work through what you feel, through your heart space. So the decisions that you take are centered around what your gut is saying, what your instinct is saying. So that way you are very intuitive and you always seem to have the right answers to most of the problems, because you are able to have a point of view which is covering every aspect emotionally. Most of your judgment may not come from a place of logic or rationale, which because you work through emotions more, might be the reason why you will not necessarily use logic and rationale most of the times to come to conclusions. You are more instinct based, and you're psychically precisely 100% right most of the times. Well, I'm saying most of the times because there are some things which have still not happened and you have already psychically felt them. So that's the level of accuracy that the Queen of Cups brings to a situation. After that, we have the Star card, which makes me feel that the Star card comes after the Tower card. So there has been some kind of a tower moment, and there has been a crisis of sorts, and which involves you. You have been at the receiving end of this crisis with this group of people. Whether they have acknowledged you in the past, they have probably used your resources of emotions, emotional fulfillment, how to be happy, drain you also, but not necessarily acknowledged you or not necessarily given you the respect or credit that a queen demands. So you have been kind of overlooked in the situation. And the Star card is telling me now it's a time to heal, because suddenly a situation has come up where this group is suddenly recognizing that they're absolutely incapable of handling this situation, this drama which has happened, by the way, behind your back. And but somehow you are pulled into it because you are close to this group and they're asking for your advice and they're telling you, they go like, oh, leave it, we shouldn't put too much of our minds to it, you were not there, so just leave it. but then they'll eventually end up telling you because they know that they can't navigate their way around this difficult situation. So you're getting some validation, and this validation is healing you. So use this time to heal. There are as you can see, 3 healing cards: the Star, the Hermit, and the Hermit is clarifying the Star over here, which means that definitely there is something in this situation for you which requires for you to go inward. If the guidance that you are seeking is what should you do in this situation, you should not get too involved in this situation, because there are 2 cards which are saying the Hermit. All of this is happening for you. It looks like a drama which involves external environment, external people, close people, which you might be very involved with, but the guidance for you is that you have to stay inward. And if you see this card, the Hermit card over here, it is like Harry Potter's when he uses the spell Expecto Patronum, you know, the stag comes out. This is also a stag. It is from an Irish legend. This person is a druid. It can be a man or a woman who is moving around to explore, to go inwards on a journey, to explore inwards, to go on a journey to find themselves. And this stag is a protective person, because in Harry Potter, when the stag appeared for the first time in The Prisoner of Azkaban, the person that this stag represented was Harry Potter's father, James Potter. So even though James is not around, Harry Potter's father is not alive, he's still around in some way, shape or form to protect you. So it makes me feel like you're very protected, you are divinely protected, so you know where to get your guidance from. You have been seeking guidance, listening to your own intuition from time to time, and that has also kind of led you over here in this reading, because you are very protected and you needed to hear this, right? Also, let me clarify this Queen of Cups with the Temperance card. In this deck, the Temperance card is the Avalokiteshvara. It is a Bodhisattva, I think 1 level below Buddha, achieving entire enlightenment. But also in its own right, Avalokiteshvara is a deity which is very, very honored and very revered and at a high position themselves. I'm saying themselves because it is neither he nor she, it is neither male nor female. It is not, it changes form as per the requirement of the querent or the person involved. And in this case, because Avalokiteshvara is the deity of mercy or compassion, they change forms, they change their whatever is as per the requirement of what the querent is, to grant them compassion, to grant them healing from their troubles. So with 1 foot in the water, it makes me feel that you have to balance it out. As the Queen of Cups, who knows emotions, who knows how to spiritually nourish themselves, take care of themselves, you need to balance and put this energy to yourself also. Just don't keep giving. Again, it's kind of tying up with the situation where the Hermit and the Star card are asking you to go into healing. It's a hopeful situation wherever you know you are involved, and it makes me feel these people will sort out whatever it is. Now let's move on to the next card, 2 of Cups. And 2 of Cups is my favorite card for you know, like a soulmate kind of connection. So the people involved in the situation may be lovers, may be a relationship of a close one that you are kind of in the middle of, and you're kind of trying to not take sides. And what I mean to tell you is that they'll figure out, because they have a soulmate connection and they are very much in love, and they will know how to handle this situation. And it is clarified by the 4 of Wands. In this particular deck, the legend of 4 of Wands is about Mohini and Ivana. I don't remember the name. 1 minute, just let me check on my laptop. Especially for this reading, I had googled what they stand for. Let me just take out the name. So it is Iravan and Mohini. Yes. It's a Tamilian character from India, South India. And Iravan is Arjuna's son who has to be sacrificed because he has all the 32 signs on his foot representing him to be a celestial being, and a celestial being is required to win the war of Mahabharat, the big great war. So nobody wants, because he's being sacrificed, he has one last wish before he dies the next day, that he wants to enjoy marital bliss. Nobody in the town is ready to give their daughter for just one night because they'll be widowed the next day. So Lord Krishna himself takes the form of Mohini, which is the most beautiful Apsara, and she marries Iravan, and they have one night of bliss, marital bliss, and he dies the next day because he has to be sacrificed, right? So this card represents compassion, sacrifice. A lot of compassion, sacrifice is required, but not by you, by the people who are involved in this drama, and they will figure out. They need to learn so much more than just your presence, your being, because it's their journey. They have to complete it, and in a way, this journey is going to make them really spiritual, very mature, because they'll be required to go inward to find solutions. You cannot be the one mothering them around, holding their hand, and taking them through this. And why do I say this? Because the Hermit card is clarified by the Two of Swords, which is that it's a place of indecision. It's a it's a stalemate. It's a you cannot move ahead, that kind of an energy. And there is only so much time where you can waste your time in this Two of Swords energy. Ultimately, you will have to take some decision. And right now, you're closing, the people involved in this situation, they are closing their eyes to the obvious reality, and just passing time because they are hesitant, because they have done something wrong, so they don't know what the right thing to do is. They kind of are in a place of indecision. It's kind of come to a stalemate, right? Dead end. So they will have to take this decision, whoever this group is. For you, the guidance is so that you can understand the situation, because you're very closely involved, that they will figure this out. You have been a strength of pillar for them in this situation, and you have almost been like a bodhisattva to them, which is saying a lot. But now it's time for you to kind of go in your own energy. Once you go on your inward journey, it makes me feel like you are the spark in the entire darkness of this situation. You will be lighting the way for the other people. You are protected, and by your actions, by what you do next, these people will be enlightened and they will be able to come to their own conclusion. So you do not have to put your energy externally, you have to put your energy internally. Now I will go through the Wild Unknown archetype cards. So this is Anima Mundi. This is the last card of the deck, and it has a very, very beautiful meaning. Let me read it out actually, because I have realized that these readings, when I read out the original form, they are a lot more authentic. Okay, so here it is, Anima Mundi. Anima Mundi epitomizes the principle accept all, reject none. Simply put, it is the living soul of the world in all its multifaceted, multidimensional layers bonded together by loving cosmic forces. Diversity is celebrated, multiplicity is honored, and nothing is denied embrace. Constructs of separation dissipate into the wonderfulness of shared consciousness. Anima Mundi is the link between the literal and the imaginal, the rational and the mythic. It is the connective fiber that makes life meaningful. This card indicates an initiation on the level of the soul. You will awaken the unique light within and witness how this light contributes to the radiance of the entire universe. You will sense yourself as a critical note in the cosmic orchestra. Destiny is altered as you hear enchanted melody of living beings. So you see, I mean, it has a very beautiful connotation. Like we said, that the people involved in this drama are going to find their way, and they're going to have to go inward to find their way. They will eventually, because this card Anima Mundi right now is telling you that do not take sides, accept everybody, don't reject anybody in this situation. Everybody is correct in this situation, and in the larger consciousness we are all woven of the same fabric. So there is not really anything which is separate, or though the drama or the difference of opinion and sides looks like there is difference, but actually it is not. This is your reality. You, like I said in the middle of the reading also, that this is happening for you, this situation, so that you can take away something from this. You're already on your own spiritual journey, I feel, and you're asking guidance for somebody else who is close to you. So this situation is asking you to be balanced. Even this temperance card has asked us to maintain balance. So this card is also saying, don't reject anything, don't take sides, accept everything. Acceptance is the first step of spirituality, because it takes a lot to actually accept situations. Let's go on to the next card, the One. In case you're wondering what I'm doing, I am trying to find the One on the booklet and holding the camera at the same time. I know I don't have to, but the situation is such that I have to. By the way, this also reminds me of the song The One by Metallica. Has anybody heard that song? It might be relevant to somebody who is here in this reading. The One. Again, it's talking about themes of non-duality, one love, unus mundus. We have Anima Mundi and we have its brother Unus Mundus. Iske pehle. Our ability to experience the archetype firsthand is limited. It comes in brief and potent moments that we are left to savor for a lifetime. The One is both the energy that unites all living beings and our capacity to sense this intimate union. This archetype eludes us most of our lives, appearing as a concept in a distant galaxy. Yet when we are in the midst of its power, a solemn reverence falls across all the land. We glimpse ourselves in the vastness of all the consciousness and are neither small nor large within that field. We are neither important nor unimportant. All duality fades away and we are left with what is, the precious knowing that life is a gift and we are both the giver and the receiver of this fortune. This is beautiful. This is amazing. I had read this, but I can't. Every time I read it, it makes me feel like I'm reading it again for the first time, because it has such spiritual summary in it, so much spirituality condensed in such words. Again, the message is coming out very clear. I feel whoever I'm reading for, this pile is highly spiritual. I think you do some spiritual practices, some sadhana for sure. And if you don't, maybe, and you feel restless in life, this is your call to take up some spiritual practices. It could be meditation, it could be doing Reiki, it could be doing pranic healing, it could be anything. Tarot cards are also spirituality. As long as you have a daily practice of building a connection with the spirit, it is a spiritual connection. So go for it. Both the themes of Anima Mundi and Unus Mundus are the same. Basically, it is saying that when you touch that one place inside of yourself, which is very protected, which is very powerful, and most of us don't even realize that kind of power in our lives, we come very close to understanding who we are. And most great sages say that if we are able to sustain that state just for 3 seconds in our daily routine through meditation, we have kind of achieved it. But it needs to be done on a constant basis, like meditation, right? So the One is basically being one with consciousness, being one with the reality, and experiencing non-duality. Again, there is a theme of understanding that things are not separate. Everything is coming from the same source. It will go into the same source. It's funny that I was reading a book called Transformation and Healing by Thich Nhat Hanh, this Vietnamese monk, and it was also giving me sutras of non-duality and how to observe our body, our mind, our feelings, and the objects of the mind. So there is a 4-path observation process that we have in this book, and it makes me again go to a very core part of every human being that we are. And there is a guidance coming strongly for people to sit and meditate and sit and understand who they are, who their core is. So if you are distracting yourself with a lot of people with love, notion of love, and you think that love is going to come and save you, my friends, this reading is telling you otherwise, that there is only one thing that can save you. It is the friendship that you have with your own self. Whether you call it your own self, you call it spirit, whatever you might refer to it to as. But I am getting a very strong guidance that you need to cultivate that connection with yourself. Okay, let's move on to the other 2 cards, Adjacent Possibilities. So again, when I read it, it was so much better. In my head, it's going to sound funny, so I'm going to read it again. It's a very nice card. I thought it's just like about okay, nothing great. The number 24 might mean something for people who are in this reading. Something would have happened on the 24th of the month, or in the last 24 hours, that has led you to this situation. So adjacent possibilities is nothing but many unconsidered options. Sometimes the force of habit keeps us stuck and unaware of potentially healthier and happier choices at hand. Yet every moment gives you the option to open a different door and take a different course, whether it's in your thoughts, behaviors, or major life decisions. Unlike the indecision card, which indicates confusion and vacillation about which course to take, adjacent possibilities card is here to tell you that you have many options and it's time to take a wider look at things. As you consider the many life choices available, you will feel more and more empowered and motivated to make the decision that brings happiness, strength, and forward motion. In terms of your goals, this card could indicate unknown and previously unconsidered ideas. Be conscious, be aware, and be flexible and willing to take new and different action now. So I think the new and different action here is telling me that many of you are spiritual noobs. So you have to start a spiritual practice, as these cards are very strongly telling. I'm sorry, I missed the mentor card. The mentor card for me is telling, because of the Queen of Cups vibes, that you have been mentoring this group for a very long time, where you have been drained. You need to temper that. You need to stop putting energy into other people. Mentoring is fine. You are like this wise owl in the night sky, not just the night sky, I see the entire galaxy. So your world is not limited to just helping out this small group of people. It makes me feel you have a very larger you have a larger cause and mission, and you need to conserve your energy. You need to build on that, and for that, consider making happier and healthier choices. For me, the key takeaway from this card is healthier choices. Right now, the situation that you are in, and you're because asking about some other situation, somebody else, you need to focus on yourself and make choices which are healthier for you. For first chakra, Archangel Michael. This card is about the Muladhara chakra, or the base chakra, or the root chakra as it is called, and it corresponds to stability and protection. So whatever the situation is, you bring in a lot of good, calming, grounding energies to the situation. You ground the situation, you help this group to realize what is right, what is not, and to navigate through their emotions and not either ignore them completely or not to get completely swayed by them. You are bringing that groundedness in this situation, but you need to focus on your own grounding as well. Call on Archangel Michael, if you feel that you are ungrounded, you can spend an hour on the floor sitting down. Either it could be your apartment, but the only condition is that your root chakra has to touch the base of your floor, and you should have a connection with Mother Earth, acknowledging that she's your mother. And just as you go in your mother's lap and she takes away all your stresses, all your problems. We never had stresses when we were kids, you know, and we could fit in our mother's laps. But whatever our vacillations were at those times, whatever issues that you have right now, they will be all taken care of, and all that negativity is absorbed due to gravitational force by Mother Earth. So those who need grounding, you can do grounding practices by sitting on Mother Earth out in the park or some place which is grassy, basically not concrete. It has to be soil and ground, and if you're near trees which have deep roots, it's even better. Chamomile, the last card. This card is telling you to slow down. There is something in your life which doesn't allow you to relax. You feel guilty that you want to relax and you cannot sleep because of that. But you see this beautiful card, it's showing clouds and probably a moon. There are chamomile flowers, there is candle. Oh, that's the candle smoke, it's not clouds. So, but anyway, you don't light a candle in the middle of the day or in the morning, right? You could, but it's kind of giving me night vibes. So this card is asking you to stop taking on the role of mentor, of being somebody's emotional guide, mothering other people around you so seriously. You have to go inside, inward. You will need to call on protection from your fathers, because they're watching over you, your forefathers especially. I think your parental lineage from your father's side, your paternal lineage, is protecting you and seeing you and blessing you, taking care of you a lot. So do remember to give them your gratitude. It would be really nice. And if this reading resonates with you, please let me know in the comment section, and do like the video. I would be here every day making videos for you in the same format. So yeah, thank you. And if you have any questions, you can always reach out to me. I'll give you my email ID in the description box. Thank you.